Hey guys, welcome back. It's me Sahil Mahajan, and in today's video we're going to be going over the S3 bucket. So in the previous video, you guys got an overview related to S3 and the different features and functionalities of S3. So now we're going to basically dive into the console and we're going to create an S3 bucket so you guys can get a good idea. So you can log into your AWS console, you'll be over in the dashboard. Again, S3 is available for me over here and recently visited. It may not be available for you guys, so you can just search S3 up and you can open up the S3 dashboard or the S3 console. So let's let it load. And as you can see, I don't have any buckets created, hence why you will get this page. If you do not get this page, that basically means that some bucket has been created. So we're gonna go on to the right hand side and we can see a button that says create bucket. We're gonna click on that. And now we have all the configurations that we basically need to choose. So now basically we are gonna come to a region. Again, you guys can choose any region you want to. I'm basically gonna stick with US East 1 for most of this tutorial. My bucket type is going to be general purpose bucket. Again, directory, this is a new type of bucket that has been launched, but we won't step into that as of right now. We're only going to step in with general purpose. Now we're going to give a bucket name. So as I told you guys in the previous video, your bucket name has to be completely unique or across the whole AWS platform, no matter what region you are basically in. So let me just go ahead and maybe give Sahil YouTube. Hopefully that is selected. We're going to leave this copy settings from existing bucket. We're not going to do anything over there. Coming to object ownerships, again, this is about the ACLs that we discussed, that is called access control lists. Again, it is always recommended to keep it disabled. In the future, of course, you can enable it, but we will keep it disabled for now. Block public access, again, we don't want any public access to this bucket, hence why we're leaving it enabled. Again, we're just basically going to stick with the default settings. We're not going to touch anything. We're going to dive in deep with each of these things. But yeah, bucket versioning, again, you guys may maybe remember in my previous video I said about version ID. So version ID is related to bucket versioning over here. Initially we're going to keep it disabled. Our default encryption, as I said, that AWS supports server-side encryption. Again, you have multiple options wherein you want S3 to manage the keys, or you want to manage the keys through AWS KMS, which is basically key management service. Again, we're going to keep this to the default. Our bucket key is going to be enabled. If we come to advanced settings, we only have one setting available, which basically is object lock, and we're going to keep that as disabled. Again, we will go over all of these details in all of these things in detail, but yeah, basically I have left every single thing as default. The only thing that I have done is basically given a name. Now hopefully if this name is available, we should be able to create a bucket. So let's click on create bucket, and it says that bucket name must not contain uppercase characters. So you guys can see you cannot have uppercase characters. So let me do Sahil dash YouTube, and let's go down and click on create bucket. And yeah, here you go. Sahil dash YouTube bucket has been created, which basically means that no one has used this specified bucket name. And this is going to be your S3 console whenever you have buckets created. As you can see, it says Sahil YouTube, the region, bucket and objects are not public, and your creation date. Now let's head into our S3 bucket so I can show you guys how an S3 bucket looks like. So this is where you will be able to view all of your objects or directories. So let's go over each one of these subheadings that we over here. So the first subheading, that is objects, is basically where you can view all of your directories and your objects. You have various different actions that you can perform on this specified tab, and you can create a folder. As I said, you can create directories. S3 bucket works on folders or directory basis, so you can create a folder and a folder and a folder and so on, just how you do on your Windows laptop or maybe a Linux laptop if you guys use that. And this is your upload option. Here basically you can drag and drop the files that you want to upload and stuff like that. You can add files, you can add a complete folder, you can see the destination, and you can specify a few permissions and properties. Now moving on, we're going to head over to the properties tab. Now when you come over to the properties tab, you'll be able to get a bucket overview. Again, basically what's your region, what is your ARN. ARN stands for Amazon Resource Name. Again, this is quite important because when you guys will be creating policies, or when you guys will be working with cloud formation scripts, when you will be writing scripts, that is where ARNs are quite important. And again, you can see your creation date, you can see bucket versioning is disabled, there are no tags that we have provided, and you can see our encryption related stuff. And then you have something called intelligent tiering configurations. Of course, we will go over what is it intelligent tiering, but you can view that over here. You have server access login, cloud trail data events, event notifications. Event notifications, basically if any if any specified event takes place on your S3 bucket, you can basically get notified to it. You have Amazon Event Bridge, Transfer Acceleration, Object Lock, static website hosting. Again, this is something that we discussed wherein you can host static websites in an S3 bucket. We will of course go over how can you host a static website. Coming over to permissions, again, you can see that the bucket and objects are not public. If you hover over this, you should get what do you say, some more information related to the same. So block all public access is basically on, and here is wherein basically you put your bucket policy. Now again, bucket policies are bucket level, that is they apply to every object or bucket wide, and ACLs are only applied to specified objects. Then you have your object ownership, you have your ACLs as we just spoke. And coming back up, we can go to metrics. Again, metrics, there shouldn't be anything, but yeah, you can basically view various different metrics that you have over here. You can go to management. Inside management, you have life cycle rules. Again, we will be discussing what are life cycle rules, so you guys will get a better understanding. Then we have replication rules. So if you guys watch my IAM video where I showed you guys a custom policy that I created, which was basically SRR, which is same region replication. That is something what is related to replication rules over here. And then you have inventory configurations. And finally, the last tab that we have is access points. Again, if you want to create any access points, you can create access points over here. So this is basically a very short overview related to how can you create an S3 bucket with the default settings, and an overview related to all of the tabs that you have when once a bucket is created. Again, make sure that your bucket name is unique, that is it's basically unique globally. So and again, if you guys want to delete this bucket, you can go back to your buckets tab, you can select your bucket, and you will not be able to delete your bucket if you have objects present in your bucket. So in that scenario, what you can do is you can click on empty, and it will empty your bucket. Once your bucket is completely empty, then you can head over to delete and delete your bucket. If your bucket does have any objects present and you click on delete, it will basically say unable to delete objects because sorry, unable to delete your bucket because objects are present. So always make sure that your bucket is completely empty before you delete your bucket. So that's about it for this video. I hope you guys got a good overview related to S3, a demo related to S3. And if you guys did like this video, please make sure to leave a like, do subscribe, and also do comment if there are any topics that you guys would like me to cover. I hope you guys have a great day ahead. See ya. Take care. Bye bye.